All right, so I was going to do this earlier, but I fell asleep after 12 o'clock. Uh, got up at 7 this morning. But here I am. Uh, and because the news day has been very, 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 very slow, I have decided to basically kind of just do whatever topic. So let me press this thing and then we can get started. I'd say the best way to begin this would probably be to discuss. Oh my God, Winifred, she showed up again. I can't believe it. That usually happens once every blue moon. This is a miracle. Who knew Christmas would come twice this year? I was going to talk about the VA situation first because that had been pissing me off as of late. Like, there's really nothing in the news about the political stuff other than Sanders getting thrown off the ballot in New York and him trying to protest that, I guess. But they've mostly been keeping it pretty low profile today. So I hope I answered King's question. I know he's not satisfied. He's probably about to. He's gonna say, "Man, I want topics that are definitive." All I've been hearing about is the kung. Yeah. Oh, they're like messing with China. Like China's the region that the flu got over here. It's not like someone from the came to the U.S. with it. Man, some of the conspiracy theories that people have been putting out about this disease. Like they have one conspiracy where apparently it was made to take out African Americans, but it got out of control, and it was kind of not amusing, but I remember there actually was a group of people who were on social media going around saying that apparently the blacks were immune to the disease, and then about maybe 2 months later, we found out in Chicago most of the people that got it were black. So it's just ironic. Did you hear the praise for North Korea's new dictator? Well, Kim Jong Un is still alive. If you're referring to his sister, you understand that the media and a lot of these weirdos have this like over what's a good word for it? They're like really obsessed with vaginas in terms of representation. So you can have the most evil broad on the planet who will execute all the stuff her brother did that he got criticized over. But as long as she's got this, then it's it's all right. We're not going to get too upset if she decides to have people taken out to the back and have them disappear. It's all right as long as it's a chick. I'm surprised people don't do that more, where they just try to like have a chick run something, and then if it's like you can have a broad try to resurrect maybe like the Klan, for example, in the U.S., and people go, "Wow, that's the first female Klansman leader. That's such a successful thing." The anticipation from everyone waiting for her to get the position was cringeworthy. Yeah, they're obsessed with vaginas. It's like you care more about the next dictator being a woman than you do about the people actually being free. Oh, Ruben, I didn't send you that. Damn, I just remember. Okay, AOC was doing a live stream. Oh yeah, went to you actually. There are old videos still on YouTube where people would say to Cenk from TYT and to Sanders and all these other people that were opposing Clinton, "Why are you opposed to the first viable woman candidate?" Like they went out of their way to call people sexist for no reason. Give me a second, Ruben. I'm gonna send you those pictures. Basically, AOC was doing a stream, and she was trying to do it with Warren, and it failed because Warren apparently didn't sign up or they didn't set it up properly. But I basically got in there very quickly or very early, and I wrote some messages that I think you might like. So let me, she's just like all these other celebrities. When you come to their stream, they ignore you, like they act like you don't exist. Which I never got the point of. You were supposed to write this stuff and not acknowledge anybody. It's really stupid. All right, Ruben said the mainstream media is projecting their views into Sister Kim. They are basically admitting that they see Hillary Clinton as a psychopath. This is mainstream media's own version of, like how they describe North Korea. Well, again, that's another one of those comments that people took and tried to make out to be something bigger than it actually was. All right, so if you go on Discord, the worst social media website known to man, I just sent you the pictures of what I said. Talking about her hair, and I was like, man, I don't care. Yeah, it's like you'll be the same person talking about how upset you are that people make fun of your appearance, talking about your appearance. Like, it's dumb. That's like me coming on here and going, man, I need to lose some weight, and then I get mad that somebody calls me overweight. It's like, don't mention it. You don't want to get people to focus on it. It's stupid. It's like, what? Who the hell showed up at your stream to examine your hair? Like, you already got a boyfriend. What purpose? What the hell is wrong with these people? Okay, Winifred says, people made it seem like I was a misogynist or something. And then Roman said, and speaking of Corona, the theories of the purpose behind the outbreak get more chaotic by the minute. Then Winter responded by saying, Roman, there is a theory involving Bill Gates. So, all of the messages have been read. Someone actually did say, if you had like 1,000 people watching or something, do you expect that person to read all the comments? I said, no. I expect them to occasionally read what is being written. Like to when you get to a point where the only time you want to read anybody's thing is when it's a super chat, that's crazy as hell to me. Like I'll watch some of the TYT streams where Jenk just pulls a camera out and he'll literally have a whole chat of people writing stuff. Sometimes obviously trolls are in there, but he'll have like legitimate people and just like I'm like, what setup do you have where you can just ignore 1,000+ people? Yeah, they don't care as long as if you don't give them a super chat, you might as well not even write anything. That's why when I'm on their streams, I usually don't say anything. I just watch it because no engagement equals no point in me actually addressing these people, unless I give them some coins. Yeah. Oh my. Oh, Music Fiend decided to return after a long absence. I'm glad you liked it. That's actually the first video I ever wrote a script for. So there wasn't any stuttering. I edited the audio to where I try to take some of the little cuts out. I'm gonna try to do the rest of the romance stuff from this point forward with a script because the points are a lot more. What's a good word for it? They're polished, as opposed to if I'm just speaking off the cuff. Well, it's not even about being a smaller channel because I saw one guy who has, I think, 50,000 subs. It's about 300-400 people on each stream, and he, to his credit, even though I don't like his content, he does address people in the comment section that don't, send him money. I respect that at least about him. And my question to those people is, what does Bill Gates get out of infecting the masses with this virus? Gotta have evidence of a motive. King, you already know people just say whatever online. They don't even care. They just type stupid stuff, and that's their whole day. Oh, let me get into this VA situation. So I had a voice actor between the months of December to February, basically just keep on delaying doing this thing I wanted them to do. So I got rid of him. And when I got rid of him, I encountered another person who pledged that no matter how bad our relationship got, she would do the recordings. And I was so happy. Uh, and this person actually admitted that I hadn't done anything to upset them. So it's all the more jarring. But basically, they've decided they're going to ghost or vanish or disappear. And I'm sitting there like, you just got through saying that you're going to do the rest of this stuff. And then you don't even say anything. Man, you can't take anything chicks say seriously. You don't, like if whether it's romantic or in a professional capacity, they just they say one thing, do the other. God, I can't trust them anymore. Now, that's really aggravating for me because I was genuinely happy when they recorded the stuff for me because the other one I'd been waiting for them to do it for months and they just did it and it was nice. I didn't have to. It wasn't this huge, enormous gap, basically. So that's basically put the ones I want to do after this in limbo. So thanks. It's like people will always screw up what someone's trying to do. No matter if you give them extensions, breaks, you try to negotiate with them. That's their response. I'm not surprised. Kuma. Well, we already know Kumo's a neoliberal trying to jockey for president. There's actually a video about him where the person basically speculates that he knows how strong incumbents are, which is why he didn't enter this election cycle, and he was pissed off at Clinton for kind of bullying everybody to not run in 2016. So he's going to run in 2024 for an open seat. The left wing is now shouting even more that Bernie betrayed them because he's supposedly not responding tough enough. Yeah, well, like I said, these people need to get out of their houses and go run. If they're so brilliant to know all this stuff. That's my favorite thing. The left wing commentators always pretend like they're so informed, and then when we get smashed in an election, well, it was because of this thing and of they do the little backpedal. Like all the videos where Cenk was saying he was the front runner, and then he only got was it 5% of the vote, fourth place. Oh, Ruben, did you see the mess? Not the yeah the pictures of what I was saying. I've actually never been on one of her streams before, so or live videos, every term you want to use to define it. I should have recorded that too. That was pretty funny. Oh, I hope you liked it, Envoy. Because I actually forgot that I recorded that earlier this month, like maybe 2 or 3 weeks ago. And between recording it and putting it out this morning, there was a person who left a comment on the admits jealousy one that was like, not a single mention of marriage. And I'm like, I didn't say anything, but I was just thinking to myself, does no one remember what context clues are if I'm talking about out of wedlock births? You can infer I support marriage. Like it's really not that difficult to comprehend. I remember Zephyr. She ran against Kumo for what was that the 2014 election. Kumo's bid for a second term. It's funny. She actually wrote some article calling Biden corrupt, and they asked Sanders about it during one of the what was that the debates, and he apologized. He was like, "I don't believe Biden is corrupt in any way." Told you I've never seen someone get held more accountable for what other people say. That's like Ruben putting out a tweet against AOC, and then I got like two CNN reporters on my stream. Do you agree with what Ruben wrote about? It's like, no, he wrote whatever he wanted. What can I do? Grab him through the screen and go stop doing that? Where'd the music fiend go? He came in here to give me a compliment and vanish. He disappeared like Jimmy Hoffa. Yeah, even she was. that's what I'm saying. That there's all these other people that have supposedly attracted lesser opinions on the part of progressives are able to do stuff that Sanders wouldn't. It's really disappointing. Envoy disappeared like Joe Frazier. Yeah, he vanished as well. He left 2 comments. He didn't even say if he liked the video. He was like, I saw your video earlier today. Like, oh, did you like it? Imagine he doesn't want to hurt my feelings. He's like, and so he's gonna just remain mute for the rest of the stream. You know, there was this broad, the with the Lady Lacking Logic, where she kept asking me. She asked me at least twice, "What do I think of what's that guy's name? What's that guy's name? The one, I think he's a professor, and he's not from the U.S. Oh, Peterson, yeah." And I was like, "Ho, I don't care. Like, I can name you 8 or 9 commentators I pay attention to that are conservative. The rest, I don't care." Never seen somebody just go out of their way to try to ask me about some man I don't even pay any attention to. Just over and over. What do you think of him? What do you think of him? Like, I don't care. Is he a senator or a congressman? Does he have a voting record? Yeah, that one, that guy. It's like, Bimbo, you go stroke him. I'll leave me out of that. Do you believe the virus was bioengineered? No, I think it's some kind of natural disaster that people have been really stupid and bringing to certain places. Okay, but you gotta understand, Slum Digger. I'm like, I didn't care. Basically, what I've seen, I wasn't really a fan of, and I like it's just, what the hell. So I'm good. I even said that I was like, I'm good. I'm not trying to have a discussion about a man I have zero interest in paying any attention to. Like, I'll pay attention to Shapiro, to what's the other one, Levin, the one that does the radio show, Hannity, O'Reilly, any of those people. But at a certain point, I draw the line. I'm good. What do you think of him? What do you think of him? What do you think of him? Shut up. Oh, I knew I shouldn't have said his name because now there's going to be a whole discussion about him. Well, Shapiro gets taken as being smart because he talks fast. Like, he's seen as some genius. Like, I remember there's actually a video Kyle did on him where he was reacting to a clip of Shapiro saying that Michael Avenatti was the Democratic front runner. And you obviously know what happened to Avenatti. He was sitting his goofy self in jail. But it was just like, what? It's like the only reason anyone thinks he's smart is because he goes. It's like, oh yeah, well actually, it's the real reason that this is. It's like, shut up. I'm gonna do that one day. Just do a stream where I just talk really fast, like Blur from Transformers. Yeah, Envoy, I got a bone to pick with you. How come you didn't tell me what you thought of the video? You just said you saw it. So I agree with Ruben. You did disappear like Jimmy Hoffa, or rather, I said that and then Ruben said Frazier. I should have said Natalie Holloway. They sent Envoy to Aruba. I feel like playing one of his videos and putting it on max speed now. Be my guest. No, You ever see the video where her mother said that she regretted the fact that she didn't do research on what Aruba was because they made it sound like Disneyland, and it turned out to kind of be this place that just obviously based off of what happened isn't all that good, or at least isn't as cracked up as they tried to make it seem in terms of not having violence and all the other controversies. Well, that's another thing. I actually was going to do a video on because I try to not really bring faith into a lot of the stuff I do, but I actually am almost thoroughly convinced now that New York City is like cursed or despised by God. I'm like, in less than 20 years, I'm kind of half joking with this, but in less than 20 years, they get the worst terrorist attack ever in the whole history of the U.S. And they have twice as many deaths, or rather cases, from that virus as anywhere else in the U.S. Because I checked, New Jersey's got about 90,000, and then New York's got 200,000 plus. So there some higher figure must really hate them. The PragerU team is quite amazing, really. Shapiro, Candace Owens, everyone else involved. Well, I told you that Owens is kind of just like again, I'll give Shapiro the credit of at least saying I think he is familiar with things enough to have an opinion that's based on some kind of what's a good word for it? Objectivity. But you remember the clip of Owens where she was like, "I don't agree with climate scientists because." She just looks so stupid to me when she said, like, I agree that blacks shouldn't just vote for the Democrats over and over again because they don't do anything for it. Like, that's the full extent of where I'll give her credit for anything. But the rest of it, throw it to the wind. Yeah, I don't know what the hell is wrong with people. Who cares if 97% of the world's scientists say that human activity affects the environment? It's my opinion, it doesn't. Jesus Christ. Okay, PragerU are super low hanging fruit, just like Pod Save America. I hate that the left wing thinks refuting them is real effort. Oh, I thought Slum Digger was calling Envoy. That was like, damn. Like, I mean, what did he even say to be considered that? I always wonder how Candace Owens comes across to other black women since she is very outspoken. Oh, you can. There are places you can go to find that because I've seen some of them who basically, like, if they're intellectual black chicks, they'll say, "I don't agree with her, but I agree with the point of, you shouldn't always vote for one party just because." But if it's the like a certain other kind, they basically just say that she's trying to kiss up to all these racist people to get some coins. So, it's funny. I said before, I don't get why any person would like. I'm so done with both parties to where if someone says they're one or the other and they're a minority, I don't even care. Because you do have a lot of people like, I don't understand why minorities would support the Republicans. Like, just leave them alone, man. That 1% of the black vote the Republicans are getting isn't going to hurt anybody. There seems to be a fine line between being a black conservative and a race traitor. Not sure where it is, but I know it's easy to trip over. Well, I'll just put it to you this way. I would think if I was going to use the term race traitor, it would be someone who actually betrays members of their race. And when I think of someone who betrays members of their race, I would think of a person who, I don't know, kills them, sells them drugs, molests them. Just saying. I told you I'll never get over when that Christian told a certain relative of mine that I was going to hell because I used the term church crap, which I only used because basically something they wanted to do was going to intervene with what I was trying to do. And I said to myself, I'm going, and I actually said this to them. I'm going to hell because I use the term church crap, not the rapists, the drug dealers, the child molesters, the terrorists, the serial killers. They all get to go to heaven, but because I use the term you don't like, I'm now on the way to the fire and, and brimstone. All right, hard to convince people to vote independent or libertarian since there's those parties are there for show. They're not there for show. If you vote, if enough people vote for them, they would win. They just never qualify because when they do the polling, I mean, you know this, King. You have to have a certain level of polling to get into debates. They don't ever get around 5 or 10%, so they never get to participate. That's why you haven't had any of the candidates that aren't from either major party on the debate stage outside of Ross Perot. And one of the reasons he was even able to do what he did was because he had so much money that he was getting all this free airtime and basically kind of buying his way onto the stage because of all the name recognition he had acquired to where people could say, I want that person. Because most people don't know most candidates. So it's hard to stand out. Yeah, it would be really nice to see a Green Party person get elected. That would be really cool. Just to see what it's like to actually get the real left for once, instead of a right wing Democrat masquerading as being liberal. Okay, but with the other parties boxing them out, how could they ever truly be a factor? It's like trying to push into the cell phone market thinking you will get around Apple. Well, that's why I was saying that if enough people vote for the person, they can win, but it's hard to do that because of external factors that have a lot to do with how embedded the two party system is with the rest of the US. Let me see. Honestly speaking, conservatism to the African American community is committing treason to this narrative that the Democratic Party has their agenda set in their best interest. Yeah, and it's really weird too because there are a lot of socially conservative blacks. Like I knew, like before, you should have seen the polling for black support for same sex marriage before Obama came out in favor of it. It was really low. I think I can actually find it too if I go and dig for it. But they were uh, against that. There's a lot of stuff that shows that if they didn't think the Republicans were racist and didn't kind of get all happy over having a black president, they probably would be on that side instead. Envoy says, I get what Justin's saying. Well, and truly, if everyone stopped going to McDonald's, there could be a new fast food chain that becomes a top dog. But the issue is McDonald's is so entrenched into the US. Exactly. Like, who's going to vote for the Green Party after seeing in their lifetime several decades of Democrats and Republicans winning every election, no matter if it's for the Senate, for the House, for the governorship, the state legislator, let alone president? So that's my point that it's so embedded that people kind of just because a lot of people can't separate themselves from the pack. They feel the need to go along with something. I think it would definitely change if the Green Party won at least one state because that would freak them out if they knew the Greens actually got 5, 10, 15% of the vote. True, Ruben, there's racial undertones everywhere nowadays. Media, music, just everything. It's off-putting. When a fresh says, "What's the Green Party?" You better pull out Google. And let me read what Ruben wrote. There are a lot of racist undertones from many different people with why Joe Biden got so much support from blacks. Like I said, the guy who wrote a crime bill that we know for fact disproportionately imprisoned African Americans got the most support from them during the like I. That's why I said I live in the Twilight Zone. Like I don't even like Booker, but one of the few things he actually was pretty decent on was criminal justice issues. That's why when he did the debate with Biden, where he was making. I think you might have seen it. It was like the third or fourth Democratic debate. He was hitting him really hard over the head with his support for that kind of for those measures. And I was like, at least if they voted for him, I could. It would make more sense because he actually did try to get someone out of jail. I'd vote independent if people weren't so ignorant in voting Democratic or Republican all the time. Studying the structures of government and political parties should be mandatory at this point. No, King, when I was in high school and they did the we call it their history section, it was the worst because all they were doing was basically just a little itty bitty skimmed over, summarized. Like it was just bad. I remember this one history book I had Martin Luther King in there for maybe 3 sentences. I was like, what the hell? This is US history, and you're gonna keep all right, whatever. He gave this speech, and then he gets murdered 5 years later. That's all we need to know about that man. To hell with the poor people's campaign, to hell with Montgomery bus boycott, all that just Bush's foreign policy was way too off-putting for me. You like Iraq. Let me see. When it's all said and done, how ironic would it be if Trump put black people in a better position than I don't know why you included his middle name. I love it when people do that where they put the person's name like that's supposed to scare us or something. Like, oh, he just said his middle name. Did Trump really help African Americans? Let's not start this opinionated statement. Well, I remember he kept on saying lowest black unemployment ever. They have to just keep repeating that over and over. Like there are no other social issues besides that. You remember the reparations thing where you actually had some black commentators who were saying that one of the reasons they don't like it or they would basically say they don't support it is because the senators or just Congress could say, let's give all the blacks that are confirmed descendants of slaves $1,000 or whatever amount they think is fair, and then that's it. It's over. Don't no more complaining ever. So then, like 30 or 40 years later, if somebody says we still need those, they can say, no, we passed that several decades ago. So, and that would be pretty slick. Yeah, boy, the older Bush was really great. Waiting on your 40 acres and a mule. You know, they actually dug up McConnell's the Senate Majority Coward. And they were like, he has he has ancestors that had slaves. Like, is that really surprising? Is anyone actually shocked by that? I hate Trump, but I don't believe that he's racist. Yeah, I never, Ruben, they call every Republican racist. You know that. And I could find an article from '92 of Stupid Waters, that congresswoman from my state, saying that the older Bush was racist. I was like, man, you must have lost your damn. That's why I can't stand that weasel. Okay, I hate Trump, but I don't believe he's racist. And the left wing has to stop pushing that talking point and actually bring up the real reasons why Trump is bad. Yeah, like anytime you get into all the little stupid rhetoric stuff, it distracts from actual topics that are important. Trump is okay. I like what he did with the whatever. It's very disingenuous. Someone just sent me an email. They said Roman King is so racist, he wouldn't even eat a brown piece of candy. So we gotta make sure when we get him M&Ms, we throw all the brown ones out. Just imagining him. He opens the whole package up and just starts throwing them around on the floor. Okay, Slum Digger says, haha, you don't think Trump is racist? Hope you never find out how wrong you are. The man absolutely despises minorities. He has a history, guys. I mean, whatever. Like I said, I'm not voting for him either way, so no matter. But Tootsie Rolls are so good. You use food coloring to turn them another color. I think they make them in different colors. Oh, Megumi, did you see the upload? The first time I ever wrote a script for a video, because it was actually pretty. I was told by Music Fiend that it was strong. I was like, oh, I'm so flattered. Yeah, I'm gonna do another one of those because there's an old stupid message someone wrote me. I'm gonna tear that up probably this week or next week. Here's the thing about Trump. I don't hate or love him, but I'm truly indifferent with most things he does. I just shrug my shoulders and keep it pushing. Pushing what? I want to know what Envoy is pushing. Is he pushing some woman around? Are we gonna have to request a welfare check? We're gonna find that he's been beating up his ex-wife or something. Yeah, Megumi, that one with the what do you call it, with the broad holding the pregnancy test with a never written on it. Oh, I'm so worried on. We got to make sure that you don't push too many of those. See, Roman said Trump unfortunately is winning this election, though. Former years of radical neo Nazis coming out the trenches. Yeah, Slum Digger. I got the cop's number right here. I'm gonna report Envoy. We're gonna request a wellness check. So take off your pajamas, put some actual clothes on, and prepare to speak properly to the officers. Yeah, that was some creativity right there to describe what the video would entail. Well, I did that because for the admits jealousy video, I had some idiot come on there talking about, is this the old video? Like, no, ho. The whole point of having the clips was so you could have something to look at while whatever. So I just said screw it. So you can't win either way. You either give somebody one picture to stare at for a quarter of an hour, or you try to give them some special editing, and they're like, "I'm confused. Is this recent?" You can look at the damn date on there. So we have a lot of airhead broads and a lot of airhead men. You got the date poster right there. Is this old? Yeah, you can't win for losing. You're damned if you do, damned if you don't. No good deed goes unpunished. You know that actually they like when we have people who commit matricide or kill their parents. That fits for that phrase because you take care of your kid, then they kill you. That's how Malcolm X's wife died. She was taking care of her grandson because the mom was in jail and he burned the place up. Hey, no good deed goes unpunished. I gave the voice actors multiple weeks and months to record stuff. Tried to negotiate with them and make sure they could fit it into their schedule without it being a big inconvenience. And in exchange, they don't. Not only do they not record anything, they don't even respond when you send them a message. You know why, right? Because no good deed goes unpunished. Take care, LL. Pretty sure if you kid is pushing your skull in, you probably didn't do a great job. Well, Slum Digger, come on. You know some people are crazy. Like they actually have whatever, man. Hell, we had a whole discussion about Benoit, like losing his mind and killing two people that didn't deserve it. Are we going to say that they probably weren't a good son and wife because he pushed their skulls in or choked one of them out and like I mean, come on, you can't always infer based off of what the murderer does that the people had these awful personalities or treatments of that person. The worst is the excuses some people may give you for not responding. Oh, Envoy, there was a VA I actually did a video on last year where they're on the website. I met them on. You can see when they're online. And I would send them a message, because I was waiting for them to record this stuff about 2 months, and they would never respond. So I got somebody else, and I announced that I was firing them. And they're because I brought up the fact that I tried to message you and you never responded. Well, maybe people don't respond because they're going through something. I was like, man, when you're going through something where you can't respond to people who have done nothing to you and who you've made a commitment with to speak to over the course of a project, you've got a problem. That's a fatal flaw. Yeah, I won't even bother them at that point, Envoy. Waste of time. Slum Digger says, sorry I couldn't send the voice clip through. I died on Friday, was super busy. I'm back now though. That's almost verbatim what that broad said. Like I've never seen somebody every other week. They need to vanish. Just like the one that gave me her what do you call it? Discord account. And then literally, because when you go on one of those websites, it's to speak to the person, not every day, but just occasionally say hello, how you doing, whatever. And they don't even respond if you send them a message. I'm like, what the hell was the point of that? Like that's weird. Whatever. Then the person should respond, I'm going through but they never did. They just kept not saying anything. You send a message, nothing. Hey, Roman's trying to get me to blush. No, that 6 month period between 36 and 37 was horrible. Because I remember when I put out 35 and 36, I was like, yes, I got him. I got all this people's lines and whatnot. And then I found out I didn't have it for basically that person didn't record some stuff for 37 and 38. And I would just keep asking them, can you do this? Can you? And they wouldn't do it. They would just keep saying, I'll eventually get to it. And after a while, they quit. And I was like, damn it. Or they didn't quit. They stopped responding. And that's when I got this other person who was like, oh, you've been so nice to me. And then they play the disappearing game too after a week. It's like, oh my God, what the hell is wrong with these people? Okay, if person want to respond, they'll go out. Procrastination. No, they spend 8 hours a day sleeping, going to school or working, whacking off, and they can't squeeze in recording some line. If people want to respond, they'll go out of their way to at least call you back or text you back. Well, I told you about the one VA who I checked on during this virus pandemic, and they were like trying to feign concern for me, but then after I responded, they didn't say anything. Like I had to send them another message, and I know it wasn't one of those things where it's like you got mad because this person didn't respond right away. A whole almost 3 weeks went by, and I was like, "What the hell? Really? You're just not going to say anything?" Oh my god, that's why I said there's something wrong with people just online. Like they say these things, then you actually look at their behavior and it's the complete opposite. It's like being. That's why I said it's like being on a Ferris wheel or the hamster wheel where you're just like this. Can never get any further. One step forward, one step back. They rather, yeah, but they don't care enough even to just send something like that. They rather just ignore. And Envoy says, exactly, Megumi, it's crazy. And then Envoy says, Megumi, I had a woman do that one time. She acted aloof to the fact that I was trying to contact her. I just said, yeah, this isn't going to work out. They online all the time as well. Yeah, Megumi, that website lets you know that person is online because they have the little, like on Discord, the little green thing where it shows you. And they just won't say anything. And like they'll be on there for hours, like every day, and just no response. Okay, King says, like recording your voice as a voice actor who's done it for a while, and the passion of theirs shouldn't even lead to their. Well, that's what I think is crazy because the ones who've mainly been acting like pricks actually want to be VAs. And I'm like, how the hell can you expect to be a Because remember, with my thing, I give these people, if they need an extension, I always give them the extension. I just only request that they keep in contact. Like if you send a message, I want them to respond. That's literally the one thing I really want out of them. So if you can't respond to someone like that who's very flexible and is trying to keep you on pretty much no matter what, how the hell are you going to work for any of these other people? Hey Megumi, I don't know if you remember that story where I went in the mall and asked the broad for her phone number, and she gave me her Facebook, and then I sent her a message, and she was like, "I cannot talk to you because I am looking for work and trying to go to school." I'm like, what the hell? What was the point of sending me whatever? Can't go pro with that work ethic. Well, that's the screwed up part. One of them, actually, you get what I'm saying. I just think there's something wrong with these people because, like, one of them literally I sent some scripts. They didn't do it for 3 months, and I was just sitting here every month. I was like, really? And their like whole thing was, oh, you're not currently doing this part, so I can kind of just sit on my hands, basically. But it was stupid. Yeah, Envoy. I sent it to them in March. They didn't send it. They didn't record it, or at least if they did record, they didn't send it until June. And I know it wasn't like a thing of, oh, I forgot to record this because I kept asking them each month, hello, hello, are you going to do it? One time I actually was going to fire one of them. Like, and when I say fire, I mean get rid of them without saying I was getting rid of them, and like not even with if knowing if I could get somebody else to do it. And literally the day before, because I gave them a deadline, I said midway through this month, if they don't send this thing or respond, that's it. They're done. The day before I'm gonna get rid of them, they sent the stuff. I was like, damn, just they just edged their way to be keeping on. They just squeezed to victory. The old school romance videos. The classic romance saga. They think talent works hard when hard work is needed to get recognized for your talents. Yeah, and it's like they have the horrible work ethic. They don't respond worth the damn. I mean, it's just awful. It's insane just how much they really just don't care. Yeah, they're not they're just people like I said before, if a lot of people don't have empathy. So if they're not personally experiencing it, they don't care. It's a pretty disappointing thing because I expect people to be tight pocketed, to do like there are certain stupid things people do that I can still kind of get a little bit. Like when you ask somebody for money, if you ask them for on a date, whatever, because it's like stuff I can get where someone would think really hard about that. But if you come to this person's project, you sign up for it, and then you don't want to do anything, it's like, why the hell did you even come in the first place? I had a VA who literally came on my project and then didn't do anything for like a month or two. And I was like, hello, hello. And they blocked me. And I was like, how the hell do you come to my thing? Like, that's what I was baffled. Came on my crap, and then when I tried to get you to respond, you block. All right. Megumi, I've had so many weird encounters with VAs. What's another good example? Oh, I did mention the I did that voice actor without a brain stream in December, where there was a VA who um, recorded some stuff for me, which I was thankful for, and I can screenshot the last message I sent them was in maybe July or August, and they put a those emojis like a heart or whatever, basically confirming that they liked the message. So out of nowhere, I'm like, "Hey, are you all right?" Because there was something they did. I'm trying to remember what exactly it was. Like, I think I might have forgotten it. Uh, what was it that they did? There was something they did that basically tipped me off to them not being part of the project anymore. So I asked them if they were okay. Oh, now I remember they unfriended me on Discord. So I tried to send them a friend request again because I thought maybe I had done something by accident. Maybe they did it by accident because the entire time we spoke, it was seemingly really decent. We never had any arguments or anything like that. So I asked him, "Hey, did you do this by mistake? What's wrong? Are you upset with me?" Just general questions. And in response to this, they don't respond on the website we met on where you can't actually block anybody. And then they blocked me on Discord. I was so pissed. That's why when I do put those out, I'm not even going to use that the stuff they recorded because I don't want to hear that traitor's voice. The only reason that one's not as bad as the other ones because that I approached that one, but they signed up for it and they were like, "Oh, I'm so glad I'm on your project." And like I can literally take all of my messages with them and put them on the screen and show where there was no like that was out of nowhere. Told you, man, chicks have like 8 personalities. Hell, you can look at the whole saga that's happened over here. You know, I sit here with this person, I say to them, "Don't mess with my bed." They agree not to mess with it, and then 2 years later, they mess with it. Old and gray, what? Yeah, I'm good. The main show comes first. That's why episode 38 is probably going to be done by maybe Wednesday or Thursday. Yeah, they just flip their minds on a whim, and just as much as you change, sure. Yeah, flip their minds like I change their minds like I change shirts. I told you about that one broad that was like trying to ask me some romantic crap, and basically, King, let me respond to King really quickly. I did think of doing it in that format, but the problem is, I've like understand this. It's going to be at least 60 episodes long, and I have at multiple VAs who have recorded all the way up to 60. So I can't tell these people, hey, thanks for recording 20 plus episodes. I'm not even going to do. So my hands are kind of. I'll give you an example. It's like this because you don't want to let down the people who actually did all the stuff and punish them, but so you know what I'm saying. That's why I still am willing to put up with this because I can't betray someone who did all of that for me for free. I can't do that. I would feel just like I think chicks should feel bad when they have kids they can't afford. I would feel bad if I stopped making it because 2 or 3 people quit when I've got multiple 2 or 3 that actually did the whole thing. So I hope you understand what I'm saying, King. Because it's not all the VAs. There's about half of them I really like, and there's about two or three that are kind of problematic. All right, let me see. Where's that comment I was reading? Oh yeah, I was trying to tell Megumi about the one broad that actually had the means don't justify the ends. I'm just saying that I can't I can't look that person in the eye and say, hey, I know you recorded for 22 more episodes, but because I feel so bad over these VAs, this these same couple people quitting, screw you, and all the work you did. Let me see. Oh, now I can remember. So Megumi, I don't know if you ever heard this story, but there was a broad in late 2017 that was like on my channel, and she was. We started speaking by text, and the last conversation we had was her saying she was excited for me to finally hear her voice after showing me what she looked like. And about 3 days later, with nothing in between, because she didn't respond for 3 days, she's like, I'm going to be honest. I don't think this is going to work out. Goodbye forever. I was like, what the hell? What's wrong with these bastards? I swear. Oh my God. Empathy and consideration for others. Majority of chicks all lack. No, I think VVS he actually got a kick out of when I was making fun of that broad with the baby, and I was making a joke about her and her boyfriend, and he was like, uh, "You gonna stick your little wiener in me?" Because I was so pissed off and just talking about how they don't even think about anything besides how they feel in that immediate moment. That's why they don't use condoms. It's psychotic how manipulative women can be to make you feel like the antagonist in situations they cause, especially those close to you. Yeah, like I was sitting here one day trying to explain to this. No, I'm not going to mention that because it's just a stupid person that did something dumb. But I get what you're saying about the they'll cause a scenario and then they'll be like, I can't believe you acted this way. Like I had this one person tell me to lift some big, enormous box containing what was it, a fan or something? And they put things that are mechanical in boxes to protect them. They're in the box so that if you put them on the floor and they've got all this styrofoam and stuff to keeping it kind of cushioned, it will lessen the chance of it getting damaged. So when I'm lifting this heavy as hell thing into this person's car, I slam it in there because it's lit like it's taking the breath out of me. That's how heavy it is. And their response is, uh, gently put it down, lightly put it down. And I just got pissed and I said, why don't you lift it? Like if it's so damn easy to just pick up this heavy crap and lightly put it down after it's sucking the life out of you from how heavy it is, why don't you do it? God damn it. Like, but then they want to say, well, you need to watch your tone. I'm like, you asked me to do this. I did this for you. You want to start crying about someone not doing it the way you liked? Then do it your damn self. Period. Just can't stand the whole women good, men bad accountability is the name of their existence. Yeah, they treat men like trash. I actually had somebody who was trying to convince me to attempt to, what do you call it? Take, what's a good word for it? Like a romantic step toward one of the VAs. And I was like, no, no, I made that mistake before I even started doing my show with one of these people. Never again. And they were like, you never know unless you try. You never know. And I was like, dude, if the crap didn't work with regular broads, why would it work with one who's on a project with me? Why would I want to imperil my project any further than it already is by that one person, the one holdout, as I like to call them? Like, why would I do that? Why would I hedge my? Think of how insane that is. Imagine betting on a racing team that's lost 80 or 90 times, like 90-0, or if you want to count the gold digger, 90-1. Like, who would do that? It's really men's fault, though. We made the world that way, to be honest. We stop holding women responsible. Okay, well, if you're referring to men in general, I agree, but I try to do my best to hold them accountable for the stupid stuff they do. Hell, I've actually got one video. I'm going to defend a chick on there because she actually didn't do anything wrong. There's this story. Basically, there's a chick that commented on a video about this broad that killed another broad to get with the broad she killed's husband. And this guy was like, why would they even like them? And this chick came on and talking about women, people can't help who they fall in love with. I was like, really? So because you can't help who you fall in love with, you feel so you can't control what you do in response to those feelings. So I'll get on that at some point. Like in the near future, I'll put that up. Like I to feel bad to keep potential girlfriends as simply flirt offs to keep expectations low. Well and truly, if men really wanted to, they could shape society how they deem it. Well, that's why I said if men ignored and broke up with chicks for like a whole like just 90 or somewhere around 80 or 90% of us did that for like maybe a month or two, it'll be a new world. A lot of people I talk to online are pressuring to run for president because they hate Howie Hawkins. What do you think? I don't know why they hate Hawkins. I don't really see anything wrong with him. But if Ventura wants to get in, hey, I can't stop him. It would be the next pandemic. Well, we already know about the declining birth rate, so maybe that's going to be one of the things that changes the world. It's like, why aren't people having kids anymore? Because all the chicks hate all the dudes. There's a gay broad on this one, and I'm only bringing up her sexuality because it's relevant to what I'm saying. So don't try to pretend this is some homophobic crap. She posted a picture on this website about a month ago, or roughly somewhere over the period of the last couple of months, and she put likes, women, and all these different things, then hates, and under hates there's men. And I was like, now, if I put up something like that where I said I hate women, I would be called a sexist for the rest of my life. But when a broad says that, it's all right. I find that very comical. Maybe putting women in the workplace in the manner of which we did has something to do with low birth rate. But Envoy, my thing is, when you factor in, I mean, I'm not even gonna say it. We know a lot. There are a lot of chicks who are working that have kids, so I'm not entirely convinced of that. Yeah, he's very late. He must think he's Goku or something. You were not on King Kai's plan. Don't even try to pull that. Okay, did you dare just imply women should make money? How dare you, Envoy? Cancel this man. And then Winter thinks he's some kind of gangster trying to F themselves over with the one child policy. Now there are more men than women. Well, that's the funny thing, that in the US there are more women than men, but then you go and look at the chicks' profiles and it's like 10 dudes going over one bra. We're here today because of that, along with, I mean, like I said, they have laws for uh, getting a car and all this other stuff. But then if you want to have kids, just hop into bed. Doesn't matter how poor you are, how if you got mental issues. Or, yeah, they have abortion clinics. They can leave the kid at a hospital without any commentary. Like there's a whole bunch of stuff they can do. That's why I get more upset. Like the only thing the man does is stick his penis in somebody, but outside of that, it's really not that. There's not much in his control because the broad could abort it anyway in that whole 9 month period. Oh, I haven't seen Jimmy in a long time. Don't even get me started on the female privileges. Megumi, I care so much about you. Tell me how you're doing. Megumi responds. 3 weeks later, no response from me. Megumi asks, "Are you okay? What's wrong?" I'm like, "Oh yes. How are you doing? Did you get your things?" You must have lost your damn mind. It's like, who are you fooling? Oh, Envoy, I might be able to. I might stick Benoit's theme song in 38 because there is a moment where it seems kind of appropriate. It won't be the whole thing, but it will be a piece of it maybe. It depends on the time slot. Like if I want to stretch it out to 20 minutes, because right the script for that episode was 16 pages, and I've got about 17 minutes of stuff right now, so I might use it to add some more in there. I agree. And then one lady piece is like, "Oh, it was such a great song. It's too bad we can't use it anymore." So you can't use it. The song didn't kill anybody. I feel like this drastic change of nature in people could revolutionize the world to realize maybe human life is overrated in the grand scheme of things. We are literally space in an empty universe. Man, don't start with that. I'm not here to get the little nihilist stuff about nothing matters and all that crap. I'm good. Like I said, the same people who write that are the same ones trying to make sure that they have a food on their in their stomach and live somewhere. I don't buy it. Well, you can't spell feminist without man without men. I mean you have to move some letters around, but it's in there. Yeah, I don't know what made Roman upset. You see, don't okay. People are way too self-important. Oh, I forgot Ruben's comment. I'm sorry. Women get child support. I know they do. Ella, life is overrated. Needing to eat doesn't mean that isn't true. People are way too self-important. Petty conflicts and oh, okay. I think I wait. Let me see. Is where I'm getting at. Love and let live without harming others. Live and let live. Well, I already told you my favorite trait is that I can leave people alone. Like now, when I get stupid comments, I don't even write anything back. Or if me and some broad don't talk anymore, I don't go on their pages or just completely ignore them. Because you know what happens? They always say, "This man is obsessed with me." No, he's talked to 90 of you and he's concluded you're all the same. So it's a lot easier to throw one of you to the curb or the wayside. Oh, I was gonna do a video about because with the Lady Lack and Logic, I think you might remember this Megumi when I blocked her on all social media websites. That was Twitter, YouTube, and and her phone number too. She sent me a Gmail or a regular email, and she was like all upset because I can't believe you don't want to speak anymore. And it was funny because I was going to talk about how there's actually a lot of chicks who are like recognizing of the fact that they really like some man's personality, but they're selfish hoes, so they don't want to like compromise on anything. Like they basically want you to give them everything they want, which is speak to them and have all these conversations where they get entertained. But then if you actually want to do something with them romantically, oh my god, no. And I was going to talk about how they're selfish because in any relationship, be it romantic or platonic, both sides have to get something out of it to want it to continue. And if they were smart, they would go on a date, say, "Hey, I didn't really like it," and then they could still speak, and you would feel like you actually got what you wanted because they were at least willing to do that very small thing in the grand scheme of things. So I might do some video explaining that. I love how these politicians chime in during the health crisis. I haven't seen CK in so long. I thought he was on his last leg or something. Oh yes, but part. of being a human is harming other humans indirectly or directly. It's as essential as breathing. Well, that's why I don't like that bimbo with the baby because it's really funny. I saw this person a few days ago and they actually did something that kind of disgusts me. I'm gonna try to see if I can say it really quickly. They will leave their stuff at other people's houses for the kid, and they were like, I don't have any formula for my child, so I guess I won't be able to give the child any of that. And then the dingbat left formula at this person's house roughly a couple of weeks ago, a month ago. Um, and I was like watching people talk about how, oh, that was crazy. Like, no, that's stupid and dangerous and idiotic that they're claiming they couldn't find something that literally is at every Ralph's and different store around here that can be considered a grocery store. And they're so stupid that when they get it, they leave it at other people's homes indiscriminately. They've left bottles at people's homes. Like it's just, it's God. This is why the world is going to hell. They let any idiot that has this pop out a kid. And then when you try to, and like I said, if it was me, I'd curse them out because I don't care. I'm not trying to be their friend. But people who are supposedly friendly with them won't even sit them down and say, this is very irresponsible and this is very dangerous. You are leaving the child's food at other people's homes indiscriminately. They won't even do that. Like, you don't have to go up to that. No, CK, I'm not even going to get into that because people are going to say, you're racist. So I'm good. I already had one chick try to grandstand about that a while back. Nah, Envoy, when I saw that, I was astonished. I was like, really? We're gonna not confront abroad over, and it's like you don't even have to speak in a mean tone. You can just say, you need to keep these things that are essentials for your kid with you, especially if you think the supplies are going to run out, which they didn't. By the way, think how stupid this is. I went to this one store and didn't see any formula. Well, I guess I can't. I won't be able to feed my kid. They'll just have to go hungry. Literally, the store I went to uh, had it, and had a whole bunch of it too. And everybody knows the main two things that we've been missing out on are, where are they? Water and toilet paper. Everything else you can still get fairly easily because water came back really fast. God, like no one wants to say anything. They just want to keep going. Oh, that was just them being dumb or being crazy. It's like, no, they're an idiot. That's why I said that this clown was ruining this kid. Like, when you do stuff like that, you should get condemned. And that just happened this past weekend. And I recorded the video I put up this morning. It was like April 11th. So I'm not stupid. I have enough foresight to know that this is a downward spiral, and it's that way because the parent is an idiot and the people around them don't want to exercise enough of a what's a good word for it, affirmative opposition to things they do that are dumb. No one cares. I had this person saying, I'm going to now go to the store and look for Formula Ford. I'm like, that's not your job. If the hoe is stupid enough to only go to one store and then throw her hands up, that's her problem. Tell you, they will hold chicks' hands every step of the way, man. Oh, that's what happens when you have high hopes for people. Just one issue, and we all become animals. Oh, I just read Slum Digger's comment. Uh, yeah, that's a good point. Imagine a world without racism, classism, wealth inequality, rich men sending poor men to death. Justin is more likely to get his voice work on time. Well, that's why it sucks because one of them literally did all of it back in like October. So me and them only speak when I finish an F. I even some message like, "Hey, how you doing? Are you all right?" Because we hadn't spoken in months. Yeah, I hope Roman King gets what I was saying. That I just hate the idea of all those people recording that stuff, and then they don't even get to see it come to fruition because I gave up and allowed the vanishing VAs, the VVAs to dictate if I was going to ever make this. I tried so. It's like the Linkin Park song. I tried so hard and got so far, but in the end, it doesn't even matter because I was voicing. You've seen the credits on. Well, you know I voiced the most characters in the show. It's like you do all that, you go out of your way, and it just can't pull it off. Let me see it. What did King write? He wrote something. I didn't read it though. Um, it can be simple. A boring life won't happen because there will always be opposing ideologies. Civilizations can be more civilized about it. Spew all the hate you want. Just leave people alone physically. That is. Oh, me too. Envoy. That was one. That was. I think that might have been the first song I knew the lyrics to. Humans are animals. A great reminder of our savagery. It's genetic to an extent. I cut my own. See, I told you everybody always gonna ask some physical thing about me. I told like all the people who are complaining about not getting one act like they don't have a pair of scissors. I'm never gonna give some prick $15 every 2 weeks to do something I can do my damn self. Never. Just like I remember, I had these relatives that would always go to these nails clinics, not nail clinics, the nail shop where they go in to get their nails done, or as they say, did. And I was like, why don't you learn how? Like, all they do is paint them, and then they use the fan to dry it. Why don't you get that stuff yourself and not spend thousands of dollars over the course of 10 or 15 years having these people do this for you over and over again? It's not even a complex. Well, that's why I said that I'm done. Like I don't bother with any of those places. It costs too damn much. Yeah, but at a certain point, it's kind of like when I had that one pair of shoes that ripped at the bottom, and I had this relative who was like, "Why are you wearing that?" It's like if I can still wear it, and it saves me 100 to not get upset and cry and buy another pair, I'm gonna do it. You're gonna get turned down by a woman because your shoe has a cut at the end of it. It's like they were denying me when there wasn't a cut. Like when I just started doing a lot of content, I just got to a point where I was like, I don't even care anymore. Like all the little warnings and stuff is, oh, this is gonna come back and bite you. It doesn't matter. I mean, like I shower every day, and that's not to get laid. I just like to smell nice. Shower, have deodorant. Uh, brush my teeth twice a day. There's just certain stuff I do that there's you don't need to put the incentive of what would a kick think over it for me to do it. But as far as going to some stupid mall and all, no, I'm good. Hey, CK, we know you have a kid. We're all proud of you for having this kid. And we could come up and suggest that since you have this child, you should recognize it's important to actually have things to take care of it, such as not forgetting its food at people's houses over and over. but we'll let it slide because we could never call you out on anything. We could never politely recommend that you stop doing that. No, that make too much sense. I'm so done with people. They don't even care. They just. I wish Jimmy would write some more comments because I always get excited when he writes something. I'm like, oh man, I can't wait to see. He's like Galactus. We see him so rarely that every time he shows up, it's like this big event. Yeah, he's so rare to type things. I'm just sitting there with faded breath. Where did Ruben go? He just vanished. He must be laughing at that comment that I still want to see what your reaction is to that message. What did I write? Let me go look at it. Uh, okay, she had 9,000 people on that stream, and I said, because she was saying that Warren was coming, I said Lizard Warren, and then this is before that. This is when she was talking about what she looked like. I was like, it would be nice if you answered some questions instead of blabbing about your hair. And just like all the rest of the celebrities on YouTube and all these other places, they don't respond to anybody's questions or comments at all. Jesus Christ. Yeah, CK, you need to start coming back online. We were all worried about you. I had a CK memorial party. It's like, CK, where did you go? Are you dead? Say it ain't so. CK vanished one day. I'm sure we'll see him again some way. I just serenaded CK. He's welcome. Not at all. They just rub their hair and look at the screen. Man, when I turned that stream on, because it's on my phone, AOC started a live show. I clicked it. Hey guys, my hair, I gotta make sure it's all done. Shut up. They pointed at their crotch. I had this one teacher who was a chick, which is why this comment was made slightly more funny. And she said, when people use their cell phones in class, she knows you're using your cell phone when she sees you smiling at your crotch. Like just looking down. Was that entire live stream about AOC's hair? It was about her hair. She mentioned the virus very briefly by saying, "Oh, we all need something to be entertained by during this hard time." And then she mentioned trying to get Warren on there with her. Those were the only three things she talked about. You know what? Next time she does one and I get a notification, I'm going to record it because I got this thing on my phone to do that. And I'll put it on here. That stream was boo boo. That was that anal fudge stream. They see they see the comments, but they don't care. They just let them sit here. So I was talking about these things, and then no response to anything anybody writes. Like you're not even there. Like you're a ghost. I'm gonna do that. I think there might have only ever been one stream where I did that, where I just didn't respond to anything anybody wrote because I was pissed. And I took my glasses off so I didn't have to read it or be able to see it. What is AOC work on nowadays that hasn't been publicized? I don't know, man. I've never seen a politician where like she just tweets and they'll make like 10 news articles about it. Just like shut up. There was even a guy on Wikipedia. He was like, her page is very long for a congressional freshman. Yeah, because you guys you have more material on her than people who've been there for, in some cases, 10, 20, 30 years. That was the anal fudge stream. That was the Taco Bell diarrhea stream. I don't care about her hair. Unless it's going to pass single payer, that is, or the Green New Deal. They are trying to prop her up. Like I said, the only one of those progressive members of the House I really like is Roe. Everybody else just kind of that's not like Omar a little bit, and then Tlaib, and that's pretty much it. Because Tulsi's about to be out of there, and she decided to go out with the dignity of endorsing a rapist for president, who is completely antithetical to her entire campaign. It was really funny too because her whole thing was, "Oh, I destroyed Harris during the second debate," but Harris actually doesn't really have a bad record on international issues. Like, I'd be hard pressed to see where she voted for a war. So it's just funny that like she did this big takedown of her, and then with Biden, everybody's just like, "Shh." I'm not old enough, slum digger. I actually had a teacher when I was in my last year of college who I guess was impressed by, because it was a math class. They were impressed by my grammar or something, and they said, "You'll be the next president." I was like, "I'm not old enough." And they said in 10 years, so I still wouldn't be old enough. Yeah, I think I was 19 at the time. It is what it is. Oh yeah, I remember. Where's the? Oh, okay. That was Ruben's last comment. I'm a prop up Jimmy. Every time you show up to a stream, we roll out the red carpet. Tired of old white men deciding this country's fate. No offense to white people. Well, Slum Digger, you know, Pelosi's been leader of the House Democrats since I was in second grade. So it's way past time for her to go. But she did a pledge where she's only going to serve 4 years as Speaker. And I know that sounds like, we mean only, but you know, at the very least, she seems committed to wanting to step down, even though that means we're probably going to end up with someone just as bad, if not worse, like Steny Hoyer. You know, they're not going to let Clyburn be Speaker. But it was a black man that decided this country's fate. Yeah, when that stupid South Carolina endorsement. And it's crazy because Clyburn doesn't even do anything. Like, Ruben, I guarantee you couldn't name one thing, one law that man has ever been behind. Like, even with Pelosi, I can't stand that weasel. You know, I call her nasty baloney. But at the very least, they do bring up Obamacare like over and over again. It's either going to be Clyburn or Hoyer, or if they want to do the young leadership identity politic thing, it'll be what's that guy's name? The one that beat Barbara Lee. I forgot his name, from New York. That weasel, that clown from NY. What's that guy's name? Oh, Hakeem Jeffries, that one. Oh, it might be him, who is just as awful. You should have seen. I think Jimmy actually played some clips of that guy spreading a bunch of lies about Sanders acted in the best interest of the NRA during the 2016 election. I was like, wow, that's who the Democrats picked as their what was it, caucus chair, and you want to tell me the progressives are winning? When someone like that is, because Pelosi actually has been a pretty neutral figure, at least publicly, in the primaries. So the fact that someone like that got propped up, it just shows the hostility. I don't like her or Schumer, but they were clever enough to have their what to do about Bernie meetings behind the scenes. It was them and that stupid mayor. Mm. These elections are so ridiculous. Like, I was in the documentary I'm doing on Schumer that's coming out this week. I mentioned how he voted for the 90s crime bill, and you've got all these people who talk about how racist Biden is for writing that, but then all the politicians who voted for that bill are all still around. They all still, if they lost, it wasn't because of that bill. Like all these black people vote for Schumer for senator, and it's after he puts a bunch of them in jail by supporting that law. So that's why I said it's the Twilight Zone. Hey, that's the way to get black votes now. Vote and craft laws that get them put in prison. Damn, this outrage for the broadband is preventing me from watching the stream. It's all right, Megumi. If it keeps acting up, you can come and watch it after the fact. Giving them a pass. Well, that was a long time ago when he expressed remorse. The only time a politician ever expressed remorse, and I believed him, was Robert Byrd when he regretted joining the Klan. And then when he regretted his Patriot Act vote. That's about it. Everybody else. My God, I don't know what's wrong with these politicians, man. Not just the politicians, because it's the people that vote for them that keep putting them back in. And then scare them with Republicans. If you don't vote for the person who put blacks in jail, the Republicans are going to put even more of us in jail. And like every election is just the lesser of two evils. Vote for this person to make sure the other person doesn't. Not vote for them because you actually like them, because you're excited by what they're going to do. Like the only way Biden wins is if the screw Trump vote is just 80 or 90 million people, excuse me. That's the only way. It's not going to be because people thought, oh man, I can't wait for the Biden tenure to begin. No, because they hate Trump so much they'll support anybody. You could put my little brother up for as the nominee and they'd vote for him. Doesn't matter if it's Obama, Clinton, Biden, the Three Stooges, Jekyll and Hyde, Scooby. So vote for the left wing racist. Now vote for the right winger leading the left wing party. All right, see you later, Slum Digger. Thanks for showing up. Winifresh says, pick your poison. Now it just feels like everything I do is such a hassle. Like, if you want to do the show, you got to negotiate with the VAs. If I want to do a documentary, I got to make sure my computer has enough space for it. Like the shortest videos are a whole bunch of, they're like 800 bytes or something, 800,000, whatever. It's like, damn, Any Democrat will do as long as we get Trump out with a joke. Even if that Democrat has the same policies and they're always better. I think that'll be best to watch the stream when it's uploaded. Well, again, thanks for showing up. I appreciate it. It is what it is. Raw Band is being a little hoe. So you just got to put up with some stuff sometimes. Where did I hope Ruben didn't vanish. All right, I'm glad you enjoyed that upload, Megumi. This the vanishing party. Everybody's turning into what's her name from Fantastic Four? Invisible Woman. They all just show up and just now you see them, now you don't. No, it was really it is fun doing those documentaries because there's a lot of stuff I learned that I wouldn't like one of the issues I have with Wikipedia is that they're really hard when it comes to sourcing and like people on there will argue with you over everything, man. Like, oh my God. So that's why when I do those, a lot of times it takes a while because I have to go and do research. And that's usually me going on the congressional websites and trying to see if I can track some votes. Drinking some Budweiser, not at all. Unless you're referring to yourself, of course, then I guess so. I don't know. You could who you were talking about. There was this one time I was doing a stream It was before they tore up my room for this stupid floor thing, and this guy was like, "Are you at work?" And I was thinking to myself, "You really believe that I just do all these streams at work? That I've got like these horrible like co-employees, and they just let me stream from my office?" Just the most nonchalant manager in the world is like, "Yeah, you can stream all day if you want." Oh my god, it is funny to watch the same people who spend 6,000 on the floor and repainting walls complain about 10 pieces of chicken costing $40. Most relaxed work environment. Ruben, you want to spend $20 to get you and this other person to eat some food? That costs so much, but 3,000 on the floor we can afford. So I says the Twilight Zone. You will never see me spend thousands on anything unless it's a utility like a computer or rent or food and maybe a car, and that's about the full extent. It's got to be something I need for me to, be that ridiculous, or for me to spend some in that large way because I actually practice what I preach. Believe it or not. That's why I don't have any bastard children who are going hungry because I'm too stupid to remember to get them food, or if I get them food, I forget where I put it. Like I just think it's crazy that right as I was saying, I got to put this video up because I recorded that thing earlier this month. This situation this past weekend happened. Like, wow, I have more foresight than I thought. Hey, Ruben, would you think I was a good parent if I left my child's formula at another person's house, and then I was like, I can't find it in any of the stores, and I only went to like one or two stores, and they know I did because the store that's right up the street has a whole bunch of it? Would you think I was a good parent if I did that? An anti a what? Oh, CK is trying to confuse me. He's using all these big words. I'm not that sophisticated, so I actually had Sky Clank come in here and say I was ghetto and couldn't speak in complete sentences. And I mean, it really hurt my feelings. That assigns a negative value to birth. Oh no, 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 no. I've talked very frequently about wanting to reproduce, but um, it's like the thing with this broad is so troubling because she's a person who talked about how stupid it was to have kids you can't afford and is currently doing that. And then the same group of people who were talking about how dumb she was for doing that are now basically trying to be friendly towards her. And again, sometimes I recognize a bigger picture. So if they were being friendlier so that they could advise, um, that'd be one thing. But what they're doing is basically trying to play interference. So, like, for example, for me, and I would go up and say, hey, don't do this because this is dangerous. And that's pretty much all you need to do. But instead, they want to go, oh, we'll just that's all right. That's okay. They're just crazy. Don't do it. I can't do it. None of the chicks want me. So it's not really up to me if it happens or not. If you saw that last video I put up, I told you about the one broad that said she would rather get shot in the face than have children or something. It was crazy. It's like relax. It's not that damn serious. You act like somebody's forcing you to to have one or something. I'm gonna start doing that now. Anytime somebody asks me something, I'm just gonna have some really ridiculous response to it, sort of like not taking. Hey, CK is gonna ask me, "Do you want to do a video on Boruto?" I'm gonna say, "I'd rather die in a plane crash and leave all of my will to people I strongly have a disdain for." Like, damn. I'm gonna have Jimmy ask me, "Do you want to do a stream with I don't know, uh, Who's a politician I don't like? Schumer. I'd rather fall off a bridge by my ankle and land on my head, bleed out in a coma, and pass away on Christmas Day. Like it's just weird. Just, all you had to do was say you didn't want to do it. Damn. I did tell the lady lacking logic. I wish my friend saw this, so if he was here, he could attest to it. We might do a stream together eventually. Um, I told her I wouldn't date you if you're the last person on earth, and I'd rather eat cyanide tablets. You know those things that kill you if you eat them, like the suicide poison or whatever. And she got really pissed off. She was swearing. It's like, what the f is wrong with you? Like I thought you didn't like me. Why would that bother you? If you have no interest in someone and they say they wouldn't date you, well, why would you? Why would that matter? That's like if some big, huge broad that I think is ugly comes up and says, I would never date you. I wouldn't care because I have no interest in her. No, that was some rage. That was the angriest I saw her the entire, must be 10 or 9 months we spoke. Yeah, that's why I said it was a nice thing to do because I just, when you get turned down so much for so long, it's nice to be in the reverse position of at least saying something that is similar to how these people treat you because they act like going on a date is worse than breast cancer in a lot of cases. Makes no sense. It sounds priceless. Chicks are a weird group, man. They want all the benefits from your relationship with them, but they won't give you anything. It's like you really expect me to sit on the phone with you for 20 or 30 years, complaining about how ridiculous the dating situation is while you're single. Yeah, it ain't gonna work for you. We might do this for a couple of weeks or months, but after a while, I'm gonna tell you to hit the bricks. That's why I said they're really selfish because if they were smart, they would try to give you something back in return. And again, no one's saying they have to do that, but you don't have to speak to them either. So it goes both ways. It's just sad that people try to get so much out of someone and then offer nothing back. I still can't go over that one person that wrote me that comment who said that all I was entertainment for the broads. And it's like all they do is validate that position that person had of like you can't be anything more than just some clown they go on the phone with. Like basically their jester, like in the courts, the guy with the hat that is shaped like that, like a, I think you know what I'm referring to. I have countless anecdotes. Oh, definitely childish. That's an understatement. All right, I think I've said everything I needed to say. I'm gonna go do this goddamn video before I get tired. Like I said, I was gonna do this earlier, so that's why I stayed on longer because I didn't want it to be kind of like half measured or half fisted. So I appreciate those who came. I will be streaming again, possibly on Thursday, definitely on Saturday. So thank you for showing up. I hope you liked it. It was pretty entertaining on my part. At least I enjoyed it. So have a good day.